And all I could hear is chai, chai, chai.
Prove the point. This is the view outside.
In the middle of Karachi, big Christian cathedral, the Atacama Desert in Chile, the driest place in the world. I think couchsurfing is the wrong name. Should be International Friendship Association or something, you know.
I agree. Yeah, this is actually kind of odd if you explain it to someone who has never used or heard of it. It's a very odd concept that I'm going to a new country I've never been, to a city I've never been, meet a person I have no idea of beyond a profile on the internet, and then the fact that in a few minutes you're just sitting across the table having tea, having food together, talking like you know each other for a while, or trying to be as normal and curious as it can be. Like this feeling is kind of addictive.
Oh no, I want that.
Ah, okay. So this is very cool.
More tea. Chai. Have plenty of chai. Put your bag in the tea bag in that one. Mm-hmm. How long have you been in Ireland now?
I arrived 4 days ago. Today is my 4th day.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, there's a big connection between India and Ireland.
Really? I am not aware of.
Oh yes. We'll talk about that later. But anyway. Oh, do you want some jam?
No, I'll just take some honey.
Take some honey, yes.
Okay.
I used to love it when the train pulled up in the station in India. And all I could hear is chai, chai, chai. Oh yeah.
And to be honest, this is still today one of the things that I now miss a lot.
Is it? But they're still doing that.
Yeah, they're still doing that.
Chai.
This is a feeling. The feeling is not of the chai. The feeling is to be around these strangers, and sometimes you start to chit chat, and you become this faceless, nameless friends for a while. Bit like couch surfing, and then you just get to know each other a bit, and then there is a stop that comes and you're like, do you want chai? And then you'll just bond over a cup of chai in a train. That's like amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was lovely. Yes, I loved it.
And when you leave the country, this small bits you get nostalgic about, which is funny.
They give you the chai and a little clay thing.
Exactly. That's the chai I love the most. That thing is called clay. Thing is called kullad.
Yeah.
And that's the version of chai I love the most.
It is wonderful.
No plastic and just simple.
Well, as you can see, this tiny little country is actually very beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the landscape is stunning. Yeah, just to prove the point. This is the view outside.
Beautiful. Lovely color. The cloud is beautiful. Nice sun today. The mountains you see up there were I played on them in my childhood. This is my playground. All those hills. I know them like the back of my hand.
So you were born and raised in the city itself? So beyond this city, where did you live the longest?
You mean in which country or which city?
It could be even within Ireland also.
Well, I moved from here to London.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in London for about 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite a long time for me. And I love London because at that time it was just so diverse. I mean, it was the empire. People from the whole of the empire. Just incredible place, absolutely incredible. That's why I'm surprised at what happened over there in this past few months. All these terrible race riots, etc. Because London is an international capital. It has everybody. I just can't. I couldn't grab that. But at the time when I was there, it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Way back in the 70s, late 70s.
And what part of the world you haven't seen yet and you still plan to visit?
Well, the further east you travel, this is what amazed me too. I had no idea of just how huge the British Empire was. No idea. And the further I went, the more it became so obvious. You know, in the middle of Karachi, I don't know if you've been to Karachi.
No.
It's this great big Christian cathedral built by the British during the Empire to cater for them, to remind them of Winchester in England. And they just built this great big cathedral. Imagine, when I first seen it, I thought it was a joke. I remember saying to people, well, did you build that? Where did that come from? Yeah. So, oh, the British built it, the British built it. But they never say anything about these things, you know. It's the same when I went to Simla. You've been to Simla, yeah?
Yeah.
Big hill station. I couldn't believe they run India from up there. I'm just amazed. It was just incredible. It blew me away, but I had no idea the size of the British Empire. And the further into the former empire, the more English was spoken. So that was helpful. But today, you see, to answer your question, my plan next year, if I can, is to get to Chile.
Okay.
Because I have an interest, which I developed in all my travels, in deserts. Deserts fascinated me when I seen them. And after a while, when I did see these deserts and these huge mountains, Himalayas, etc., and I used to say to myself, wow, is there any wonder these great religions came out of places like this? Buddha in the Himalaya, he must have been amazed at all this. And this guy Jesus walking around in the deserts, he must have been amazed. Oh, look at this. And he heard voices, and people were hearing voices, yeah, in the deserts and in the mountains. And spirits spoke to them. Muhammad in the desert, the voices spoke to him. Yeah. Any wonder? I was fascinated by this, and I thought, there's something about these deserts, yeah. But my interest wasn't necessarily philosophical, religious like that. Mostly geographical. How did they happen? How did they appear? How did it go on? Why is there a rock desert, and why is there a sand desert, and why is there a rock and a sand desert, and all kinds of things were going through my mind. And of course I became fascinated by them. And my favorite piece of desert, it's not in the Middle East, it's not even in Africa. It's in the United States, Arizona. And the next morning, woke up, amazing place. took me about 6 hours to go down, but it took me nearly 10 hours to come up because you're going up.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they put, especially when I was going down, they have little signs. By the time you get to the end of this path to go on the next one, you've walked down 100 million years. You're down to the next one, you've walked down 200 million years, 300 million, hundreds of millions of years. You're going down, 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 all the way. It's incredible, incredible. So I can say that quite categorically. When I lived in Jerusalem, one of my favorite places to visit was, in Hebrew, Yam HaMelech, the Dead Sea, which is one of the lowest points on the earth. Mm-hmm. So I've been down there, and I've been down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. I don't think I can go any further. That was a wonderful experience. Absolutely wonderful. And being in the Dead Sea, have you been?
No, not yet.
Oh, you've got to go. In the Dead Sea, you don't do nothing. You just float. There's so many chemical in there. Reaction. Oh, the salt, the taste, it's unbelievable. Nothing living in there, of course. This is an amazing place. And you just float. But you got to be careful you don't float over to the Jordanian side. There's somebody watching on the side. And he shouts, no, don't go there, don't come back, come back, come back. Amazing. Those deserts, well, what can I say? Especially down there, outside Jerusalem, when this guy Jesus was down there, he spent 40 days in the desert or something in one of these stories. How could you spend 40 days down there? I don't know. 40 days, 40 nights. I don't know. But because it gets mentioned in these Christian Bibles, and when I was down there and I thought, and I looking at it all, I thought, wow, this place hasn't changed in 100 million years. So when this guy was down in here, this guy Jesus, he must have been amazed at this. Then he starts to hear the voices telling him what to do. Incredible. I can understand that. And when I was in India, up in the Himalaya, of course, Buddha. This is my heaven. Oh yeah, it's wonderful. Just a wonderful experience. Yeah, I loved it all. But next year, the Atacama Desert in Chile, the driest place in the world. That desert, it hasn't rained there for 500 years.